what started off as the perfect ideal witness turned into a shit show. Y'all ready to do a play-by-play? Y'all ready to get into it? She said there were gunshots. Kelsey would not sit up and agree to the fact that there was a shooting. She said gunshots. Shots had been fired. She said, Tory say, let these hoes out. Let these bitches out. This is my motherfucking car. Get them bitches out. That's another contradiction in. Because Megan said she wanted to get out the second time. Okay? Well, Kelsey says Tory put their ass out. So, let me tell you. I'm going to fast forward a little bit and I'll go back. But when Tory allegedly started saying bitches and hoes, Kelsey jumped in and said, hey, I don't give a fuck what's going on. Don't talk to her like that. So that allegedly he said, oh, okay, both of you bitches get out my motherfucking car. This is my motherfucking car. Get over it. This is my car. And so Kelsey said that was the final thing that he said before the incident. That was really interesting because we have these claims of dance bitch. Okay? So if that was the last thing he said, then what happened? Okay. They play audio and she just reiterated in the audio that Tory demanded that they get out the fucking car. And so they pulled over. They said, Kelsey, did Tory bribe you? And she said, not just me. And I wouldn't say bribe. They say, don't say anything either. Okay? They said, did he mention $1 million? She said, he mentioned $1 million, but I don't know why. That's what Kelsey said. They asked about the shooting again. And she said, gunshots went off. But she would not acknowledge that a shooting had taken place. She said, gunshots went off. They said, you saw what happened during the shooting, didn't you? Kelsey said, the way I was positioned? No. Ha! Bitch, you could have bought me for 50 motherfucking cents. Kelsey said that these people then hinged all they shit on Kelsey. And they thought that Kelsey was finna come up in there and corroborate their motherfucking claims. And bitch, she done pulled the biggest okie doke of motherfucking 2022. Okay? Thank you. You saw what happened during the shooting, didn't you? The way I was positioned? No. They say they got back in the car. And Kelsey said, the woman said, did Tory tell you to shut up when you got in the car? Kelsey say, everybody told me to shut up. They want to know why. Why everybody telling you to shut up? She say, because I was hysterical. I was emotional, doing this and that. So everybody in the car told me to shut the hell up. And then they asked again about the money. And Kelsey said, he did not say, I will give you $1 million to stay quiet. They said he mentioned a label deal. Okay, like did he say that he will offer you a label deal? Did he try to bribe you any other time or ask you for favors or anything like that? Is that what you told us in September? She said, I guess I told you that, but I don't know. They said, did he offer to buy you an attorney? And she said, could you refresh my memory? And so they played the audio. And so they're accusing Kelsey of saying, Tory was being apologetic and that he was wrong for what he did. And that, and this is in reference to the meeting at the hotel, which Kelsey says was not in a hotel room. It was outside. Okay. And so she was just like, okay, well, he was very apologetic. And that she told him, this them telling her the shit, that she told him that he was wrong for what the fuck he did. And I guess that she claims at the time in September on this tape that Sean Holly, the lawyer, had allegedly told Tory to phrase those quote unquote bribes a particular way. So in the audio clip, it said, okay, well, yeah, Tory told me that his attorney told him to say it a particular way. So it wasn't no black and white, I'll give you $1 million if you don't tell on me because there was a shooting and I shot somebody and I don't want you to tell anybody. It wasn't like that. Now, this is what's in the testimony. And not the testimony. This is what's in the audio from the September interview, but it was not in it like it's evidence. You know what I'm saying? So that was interesting. And so They said, didn't Tory tell you that he could get you a lawyer? She said, no. They said, didn't he ask you what's something that you want to do? And that Sean Holly had advised him to word it that way. And that Tory asked you for a hug and that you didn't want to give him a hug. They said, is that what happened? She said, no. Now let's go to the second stop. They said, when y'all stopped the second time, what happened? She said, when we stopped the second time, Megan got out the car. Now, I need you to hear this. She say, Megan got out the car and she got out the car at the same damn time. Remember that witness that said he saw that passenger door come open? She say, Megan opened her door to get out the car and then she opened her door to get out the car. She said no sooner than when she opened the door and got out the car, did she start hearing gunshots. She said they both got out on the passenger side. Kathy Ta said, and what did you see? She said, I don't know what I saw. Then Kelsey said, in that interview in September, I said things to protect myself that night. I didn't see anything. They said there were multiple gunshots. And then what? She said, I'm trying to remember. I don't know. She said, Megan was on the sidewalk, so I went over there. They said, did you say that you got out of the car and opened the door and that you heard 5 gunshots? Kelsey said, I can't recount. They said, you said that Tory jumped into the front seat. And after the third shot that you looked up and you saw Tory, she said, again, I wasn't being truthful. I don't like how they continued to press and press and press about what the fuck she said in September. Do you remember? I guess Kelsey need to go on the goddamn stage with Earth, Wind, and Fire. She said she lied. We don't know a motherfucking thing about September. And we don't give a fuck at this point. She said that she fucking lied. So what we gonna do? They kept pressing that fucking girl about September. She don't fuck with you like that, bitch. You thought she was fucking with you? The prosecution is a munch. So anyway, they played the audio where Kelsey said in the interview, I look up after maybe the second or third shot, and I looked up and he was leaning over the door. They said, Kelsey, did you say that? She said, that's what I told you. Now, I'm going to pause really quickly to paint the picture. I know Tory ain't the biggest nigga in the world. But do you think that grown-ass man was able to retrieve a gun that she claims he motioned to get out of the console earlier, but he never got? So we never know where this gun could have been. I want to remind you, you didn't see this, but I did, and I described it to you. They had luggage in the back seat. Tory would have had to jump over a suitcase, okay, and other items, and get in that front seat and retrieve a weapon and, you know, put it in position to fire shots. I need you to paint the picture. Excuse me. So do you really mean to tell me that in 2 or 3 seconds, Tory Lanez was able to get in the front seat of the motherfucking car and do what he did? And Megan initially said that she saw him from the back passenger side door. Okie dokie. They said, did you tell us that you saw Tory shoot over the door? She said, I was drunk. It was a blur. Then we took a break. We came back from the break. And they said, did you see Tory shooting Megan? Kelsey Nicole Harris. She said, I didn't see him shooting. They said, did you shoot Megan? No. Do you know who shot Megan? No. Did you hold a goddamn gun, or apologize for anything that had to do with the shooting? No. They said, who apologized that night? She said, I don't recall an apology that night. They said, after you saw Megan limp over there, then what happened? She said, I don't know. Now, did Megan limp or did she crawl? Because there's a big difference. Kelsey said, I don't know what happened after Megan limped her ass over there to the damn man driveway. They said, did you go check on her? She said, yeah. They said, did you tell us that Megan was bleeding? She said, I don't know where it was coming from. They said, was Megan bleeding in the driveway? She said, no. They said, did you tell us that Megan looked up and saw you and that she looked like a deer in headlights? She said, yeah. But Megan got on the stand yesterday and said she didn't know where Kelsey was in the car. Didn't she say that? Yeah, she said that I was there. You weren't, but I did tell you that. Megan said that she only saw Tory. Kelsey, on record, on the 22nd when she did that interview, said that Megan looked right at her and looked like a deer in headlights. They said, did you tell us that he was pointing the gun at Megan? And that after the shots, did you say like everybody froze? She said again, the whole night was a blur. Then she said there was something about like, she said I went into defense mode, you know. They said, did you tell us that he came around the car and that it was scary? And you didn't know what he was going to do when he came around the car after what had just happened? She said, I said a lot of things. They said, did you tell us that Tory assaulted you and that Quan picked you up like a damn doll? And that Quan said, they do this all the time, Kelsey. Come on. Kelsey say, refresh my memory. They played the audio of what she said that in September. Kelsey said, no, they said, you told us a lot of things in September. Kelsey said, look, I don't care to be here. I got a sick baby, postpartum depression, and all of that. They started asking about how she felt, you know, about Megan in that instance. She said, I was betrayed by Megan and upset that Megan started the rumors about me accepting hush money. They said, did you tell us in September that Tory assaulted you? She said, I said that. They said, did you say that he punched and slapped you? She said, again, I said a lot of things. They said, did you tell us that the necklace broke? She said, yeah. They said, did you tell us that your necklace broke as a result of the altercation with Tory? She said, yeah. They said, is that what happened? She said, no. They said, didn't you tell us? They said, didn't you tell us that he attacked you and that's how your chain broke? She said, yeah, I told you that. They said, is that what happened? She said, no. She said, I don't know if it fell or if it broke. She said, I didn't even realize my necklace wasn't on my neck until the next day. They said, what happened to the chain, Kelsey? She said, I don't know. They said, did you tell us that your nail broke? And they put a picture up of her nail. She said, I don't remember how I had my nails that day. They said, did you tell us that your nail broke, you know, during the altercation with Tory? She said, yeah, but that didn't happen. They said, didn't you tell us that Tory pulled your hair and your neck real hard and that with Quan trying to get you, it was like a tug of war and that's how your chain broke? She said, again, I said a lot of things. They said, did Quan try to get y'all back in the car? She said, no. She said, we just got in the car. She said, did anyone approach you and Megan in the driveway? She said, it's a blur. They said, what happened in the car? She said, I don't know. It's a blur. They said, did you send a text to Justin? She said, yes. And then we took a 15-minute break. Kelsey gets back on the stand at 2:50. They said, Kelsey, when you got back in the car, could you tell that Megan was injured? She said, I didn't see. It was a blur. They said, what's going on with you today? They said, what happened from September to today that you forgot everything? Kelsey said, I told you what I was going through. I got a sick baby and a funeral to plan. They said, have you ever been around a shooting? She said, I ain't never been around a shooting. They said, do you remember like a lot of the flack that you get online? And she said, yeah. She said, but it's concurrent, like it's actively, you know, happening. So she don't have to go and think back to shit. because it be right there. They was like, but Kathy Todd was like, but you can remember what the fuck happened because it's always on your mind because social media be coming at you. Kelsey said, I take social media breaks. I swear to God, bitch. This my left hand, but right hand to the man. Kelsey said, I be taking social media breaks. She said, between September and now, I've been through a lot. They said, did anyone from the defense contact you from September to now? She said, no. They said, did you send a text message out? Because they said, did you send a text? And she said, yeah, but I don't remember what I said. They said, did you send a text to Justin? And then she was like, yeah, you know, like, but. And they was like, why did you send it to Justin? And she said, because I panicked. That's why. They said, why did you tell us that Tory shot Megan? This girl said, because I made assumptions. Okay. They said, didn't you try to send your location to T. Ferris? Yeah. They said, didn't you text your mama and say help? She said, yeah. They said, did you also say that you were physically and emotionally broken? She said, I don't recall. They said, were you injured that night? She said, yeah. She said, how did you get injured from that night? She said, I saw it the next day. I don't recall. They pull up some pictures, and I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. This was a big issue at the end of court. They pull up some pictures where Kelsey got a bald patch in the middle of her motherfucking head and bruises all on her motherfucking legs and shit. The big issue was that the defense said, y'all sent this shit like 24 hours ago. Y'all supposed to like submit this shit 30 days before. So what's up? Okay? So they show a picture of a bruise on Kelsey's thigh. They said, how did you get this bruise on your leg? She said, I saw it the next day. I don't know how I got it. They showed her another bruise, okay? And then they showed a picture of a patch in the middle of her head. And then they showed a bruise that was on her arm. They said, why did you take the photos? She said, because I saw it. They said, have you gotten bruises while you were drunk before? She said, yeah. They said, didn't you tell us that you had bruises from Tory assaulting you? She said, yeah. They said, why did you take a photo of your head? She said, because I had a bald spot. But I got bald spots before. I be wearing a lot of ponytails. They said, you tried to call a person that you were talking to have them on the line. You called them on the line and kept them on the line because you said that you were scared and you didn't know what was going to happen next in the vehicle. She said, that's not how that happened. She said, Kelsey said, I didn't call him until the police sirens came. She said, I was scared of the police, not the people in the car. And that's why I called him. They said Megan had her leg on her when they got back in the car. They said, did Megan bleed on you? She said, I don't know. They showed Kelsey a photo of some blood on her leg. They said, was Megan bleeding in the car? Kelsey said, no. Now, mind you, we saw towels, or at least a bloody towel, blood on the suitcase. What was the blood? Blood on the console. She said, no, I don't. They said, no, Megan wasn't bleeding in the car. They showed a photo of blood in the car on all these objects I just told you. They said, do you recognize this? Kelsey said, no. They said, were there bloody towels in the car? She said, to my knowledge, no. They said, that's my suitcase right there. She said, but I don't know who blood there was. They say, was Megan bleeding that night, basically? She said, yeah. She said, but I don't know where from. And I never asked her what she was bleeding from. Now they said, did Tory say shut up? She said, yeah. And they said, why did Tory tell you to shut up? She said, because I was crying. They said, why was you crying, Kelsey? She said, because I was drunk. Irons came up. Tory said, I got a big deal coming. I'll give y'all $1 million each to be quiet. They said, in September, you knew that, but not today. They said, were you truthful that day? Kelsey said, about some things. They said, in September, you knew a lot of shit. But today, you don't know you being truthful that day. She said, about some things. They said, okay. She said, I wasn't truthful because I wanted to protect myself. They said, what are you protecting yourself from? Kelsey said, a variety of things. They said, a variety of things like what? What? Okay? Cool whip. She said, I don't want to incriminate myself. They said, how could you incriminate yourself? I'm asking you the question, like, what the fuck is incriminating about what he did? Like, how would you incriminate yourself? She was just looking crazy. They said, did you shoot Megan? And she said, no. They said, what weren't you truthful about? She said, verbatim, I didn't see him do it. They said, how the fuck does that incriminate you? She ain't say shit. They said, were you scared to come up here? She said, no. I just would rather not be in L.A. because L.A. give me anxiety. Now Kathy Ty getting mad. She said, Kelsey, you understand that you're under oath, right? She said, yes. They said, you didn't realize that Megan was bleeding? She said, no. They said, was anyone else bleeding? She said, I don't know. I ain't seen anybody else bleeding. They asked about the shooting again. She said, I did not see Tory shoot Megan. She said the only reason that she sent that message was because she was in a panic. They said, well, why did you say that he did it? She said, because I was in a panic. They said, were you in a panic in September? She said, no. They said, after Tory said that he would give y'all $1 million each, did Megan say, huh? She said, I don't know. A mess. When the police came, they were aggressive. Okay? And they said, Kelsey, did you tell the officer not to put his knee in your back? And she said, yeah. I told him not to. She said, after what happened to George Floyd, she said, please don't put your knee in my back. And so she said her adrenaline is high. So they said, did you tell us that your adrenaline was high when you was handcuffed? And that the reason why you didn't talk about your injuries was because you were more worried about Megan. Okay? And that's not a question that she, answered just immediately. But I want to highlight something. 4 police officers came on the scene. They specifically asked, at least one of them, was there anyone else with injuries? They said no. Now, Kelsey's supposed to have a bald patch on her damn head and bruises all about her body. But the police said, we didn't see nobody else injured. Nobody else injured. So that was interesting. She said, yeah, I did say that I wasn't worried about myself. I was just worried about Megan. They said, you didn't think about yourself because you were worried about Megan. Okay. What happened after that? She said, I was taken to the county jail. They said, were you swabbed for gunshot residue? She said, I don't remember that. And then they said, did you ask for a lawyer when you got there because you said that you had seen that on TV before and that's what they was doing on TV and in the movies? And she said, yeah. They said, okay, what happened after that, after you left the police station? Megan's manager, Gilly, I don't know. Jilly, they said Jilly. I think they said Jilly. I don't know. They said Megan's manager, Jilly, picked her up and took Kelsey to her apartment. And it was like, why you went to her apartment? And it was just like, we went over there to, she said it wasn't no specific reason, but that's where they went. And she said that her shirt was ripped, but the shit still was a blur, so she don't really recall. They say, oh, wait. Yeah. So, they said, did Quan say something to you? And she said, yes. But then it was a break because Kelsey said she had to go throw up. I lied to you not. Kelsey said she needed to go throw up. So she done left and they having sidebars and shit. We come back and Kelsey was wiping her mouth. Okay? Like she had just thrown up. So I don't know if Kelsey ultimately threw up. But when she came back, I did peep her, wiping the corners of her mouth like she had thrown up. She said after they left Jilly's house, they went to the hospital. Kelsey said, I didn't know anything about Megan's injuries. All I knew was that she had stepped on glass. What was interesting about that? was the fact that this, her going to the hospital was within hours of the incident. Megan hadn't come out and said anything about glass. So why did you feel like you knew that she stepped on glass? Who told you that? Because Kelsey wasn't allowed in. She was outside. Megan wasn't answering the phone for her. So where did you get that from? I guess we'll wait and find that out next time on Dragon Ball Z. They said, did you text Megan? And then at the time, her response was, I don't know. She was with her team. So I asked them how she was doing. And then she said, I got a call, and I realized that it was Tory on the call. So they played the jail call. That means that happened around 9 o'clock in the morning, because that's when the call came. The jail call was the first time that Kelsey heard from him since the incident. And she said, I tried to call Megan, but I couldn't reach her. They said, didn't you ask Megan's team, can you see Megan? And you were blown off? She said, yeah. And they said, how you felt about that? She said, I was upset and confused because I didn't understand why they was blowing me off. Let me tell you what Megan people told her, per what they said in court today. Because that's who she was talking to, Megan people. She said, in quote, they said LA was a dangerous place and that I should go home. Now, what the fuck is that supposed to mean?